Okay, this is what I think the final product looks like. It's got some apprentice marks on it, and it's still missing the 90-degree counter bore, what basically creates a 45-degree chamfer. As soon as that tool comes in, I'll put that feature on. It's a snug fit. There we go. Snaps in nicely. This is kind of just some dimensions off of the second one here that I like. I've been using. What I'll do is I'll model one of these up in CAD, and then I don't know if I'll make a whole detailed drawing, but I'll put the nominal dimensions in the CAD and then upload that to my Google Drive in case anybody wants it. It's pretty good. It's hard to get the dimension for that little step in there, because basically I'm using the drill bit and just the scale on the tailstock here to get me close, and sometimes I have to do it a couple times, so that kind of varies a little bit. Oh, focus. Focus. Anyhow, so some steps are about 10 thousandths or so thicker or thinner. It's really not that critical because the injector does not seat on that step in there, the O-ring and everything. It actually, they have this chamfer on the inside there, and that is what the injector sets on. You can see this one's a little wider. I try to make them about 60 thou. The reason this one is so small, this thing is going crazy, is because this adapter is about 10 thou shorter, and so all I did is I made that chamfer a little smaller, and then the injector will sit almost the same height as the others. The last couple pieces probably come out to about here. It's had enough rigidity where I can actually do these cuts without the tailstock. So what I decided to do is, once I got it to here, which is basically all the outside dimensions and the small diameter, I parted it off, and then my plan is to flip it around. I'll hold it this way, do the larger diameter for the O-ring, bore, and then once I have that done, I'll face it off until it's the correct height, which leaves me not a whole lot to hold on to with. I mean, you can see here, if I have it this way in the jaws, there's just not, I have to have it stick out a little bit to face that off. So I actually end up putting the outside O-ring in last by holding it by the smaller diameter and using the tailstock as support. Then, oh, and I'll have to put that 90-degree. Some of them are missing the little chamfer on the inside here because I didn't have the chamfering tool. So before I put them all in the car, I'll just stick them back in the lathe and do that little chamfer there. It's really not for function, it's just looks a little better. That large diameter actually intersects, it comes out a little bit past this taper. So the material's a little thin for, I don't know, maybe 60 thou or so. There's only about 50 thou of wall thickness. But that's really not an issue. There's not any loads on this part, and even if it were to crack there, it's not gonna fall into the engine because it stops on a step down in that bore. So I got 4, 5, I got 7 here. We still need to finish up these. All of these are finished. This O-ring fits perfectly, so I need to make sure I have 8 of those O-rings. So I thought I would show basically me making the last one here. Now that I've gotten the experience. But I'll go ahead and try to film me fumbling my way around this. And yeah, we'll see what happens. Make sure this feeds the right way. I have about 170 to 175 here. Probably what I'll set it to is something like that. 67. Give me that step, and we'll do the full length here, a little extra. Something like that. These are cheap, they're kind of junk, so I'm not doing that with a set of, with a Matoyo or anything like that, so I don't really care about those. I normally stand off to the right so that I don't have to deal with any of these chips. But I don't have anything to set the lathe on. And that's feeding the wrong way. That's good, because it's a lot quieter in this direction for whatever reason. So I ended up with 626 on that diameter, which is a few thou under what I'd expected. However, at 630, it's kind of the absolute max. It's starting to not want to go down in the bore on the engine. So 626, that's fine. It's not an issue at all. Now, getting this depth here is fun. I know there's other things I could do, but this is pretty much the quickest. 159. And I could set up the dial indicator on the slide, on the carriage here, but what I'll probably end up doing is just going a little deeper, and then if I go too far, all I gotta do is face off a little bit of this material here. 1740. Happy with that. And put this tool on just to put a small little Focus. Oh. Just gonna use this as a little chamfer tool. As I said, doesn't serve much of a function. Kind of matches with a chamfer that's in the bore. And I'll just put something like that on it. I use this here. I am certain there's better ways to do this, but this is what I'm doing. You can tell it does not like that, but it makes a decent finish. As long as you feed it at a steady rate, it's not too bad. It's just when you let up the pressure. And I don't even, this is just a little touch, just to put something there. Let's stand out of the way here. There we go. Flip around, center it, hold it this way, do the bore for the injector, face it off until it's the right height, put the countersink on it, and then I'll put that O-ring in it last. I'll show you all that. Let me get this set up in the jaws. I'll be right back. And I know on aluminum you usually don't really need any lube, but it does seem to be just a little bit smoother with it, so I'm gonna use it. Alright, I had to get new batteries, but set the dial indicator up on the carriage. We zeroed on that surface there. 50, and I'm gonna go to 55 just because I know it was a little over. There we go. There. To 0. Yeah. You see it. It's just a very small mark on it from the jaws, but I mean, I could probably put some brass or something on here, but you'll never see it. It's not a sliding part. That's what it looks like. All 8 of them finished. So I did test fit them all, but only in cylinder number 5, so I'm not sure about the tolerance stack up. Hopefully they machined all those pretty close. There we go. The O-ring is a tight fit on these, so I have to put a little oil on it. But there we are. Oh, I should probably also show you guys what it looks like with the injector in it. There we go. So I think these are going to work real nice. You don't have to have the extended tip injectors, which is really nice. And because of that smaller diameter, if that little plastic cup were to fall off, it's not going to make its way into the engine. You can kind of see that step right there. There you go. Nope, there it goes. So to be a little careful not to roll the O-ring on these. There we go. And so that connector is pretty much as close to the valve cover as I can get without it touching. So it's pretty low profile, and it looks like the rail will just clear the valve cover. I think that's looking pretty nice. Alright, I thought I'd show you maybe. You got this stick of fuel rail. It's 6 feet. I'm only like 5'9" on a good day, so that's something. Here's what that just goes all the way through there. So just thread and tap that for number 6 AN fitting, and then just drill it. I don't have a good drill press, and I don't have a mill, so I may take this piece of fuel rail to work and let the machinist do it there. What's a little bit annoying is the spacing on these is not the same, which is pretty common, but I'm not sure exactly how I'm going to figure that out. These don't have much play in them. They're pretty snug. So what I might do is just measure between centers of the injectors the best I can. Go with that. probably what I'll do. Now I have to cut that engine lift bracket back there. You can see it's already, the rail would just run right into it. So I'll have to notch that out for the rail. This side, nothing attaches to it, so I'll just remove it completely. We'll stick something else on it for a crankcase breather. And then I've done some more thinking, and it looks like instead of doing the combined T-map sensor, which I could probably put on here, but you know, it's the throttle body's way down there, and I guess I can make like an adapter or something, but I probably will resort to just using separate map sensor and intake air temperature sensors. Which isn't a big deal. But now I'll just have to mount a map sensor somewhere. And I may even stick it down there in the kind of under the intake so you won't see it. That's where we are. I'll get those other 4 adapters in and the injectors in and start working on the fuel rail. Thanks for watching.